Hello friends. I've been unable to make and post a video because my young 83-year-old friend named Helen fell and sprained her knee really bad. She cannot stand or put pressure on that leg or even walk yet. It's very swollen and uncomfortable. Helen needs prayers to lift her up, give her strength, and for the swelling and pain to go away. So please say a prayer for her healing and a fast recovery. We both thank you. Now, what if I told you that you could write a budget and never pay a bill late again? It's very possible as long as you follow along to the end. Hello, my name is Brian James, and welcome to my channel, Pre-Retirement Planning Without Savings. This video is part of a 3-part series on budgeting. Today I will tell you how to never pay a bill late again by setting up the perfect budget and with budget writing tips and what to do if you have more bills than paycheck. And finally, who do you think spends more money? People in their 50s or people living it up in retirement? Watch this video to the end and I will tell you. And keep watching for the next 2 upcoming videos in this series, in which I will discuss budgeting once you take retirement, depending on where you are in life, and how to create a little wealth before you retire for good. No one wants to retire completely broke. Also, I'm guessing by now, as senior citizens, you may have already perfected your budget, and this lesson may not really apply. But listen anyway, because I might do something different, or you might know a younger person who could also benefit. At this point, please hit the subscribe button. Now let's get into it. Let's start with your income first. Write down your income and any extra money you pull in from all sources, whether you report them to the IRS or not. Any extra money that you get daily, weekly, or monthly. If you're working a job where the income amounts vary, then add up all of the pay amounts over the last 3 months and then divide by the appropriate way you are used to getting paid, such as the number of weeks, bi-weekly pay periods, which would be 6 pay periods in a 3-month time, or 1 time per month, in which you would divide by 3 to get the average monthly income. This might be income from pizza delivery, DoorDash, Uber Eats, tutoring, babysitting, or something else. Also, the company you are working for might be able to furnish that information for you, saving you the time of figuring it out yourself. Once you have that total, you need to subtract out the main bills that you need to pay to keep a roof over your head or the basics needed to survive. This may include rent, mortgage, electric, water, sewer, trash, pickup, auto payment, auto insurance, internet, home phone, cell phone or cell phones, and maybe medical expenses. Personally, I've always included personal loans and minimum credit card payments here also. But if your back is to the wall, then you can move it down to the next section. How much money do you have left over? This is your discretionary spending. I often found after going to the grocery store, everything else went out the window. But let's look at what that money could be used for anyway. Discretionary spending could include gas for the vehicle, food, paper products, grooming supplies, vitamins, medical expenses, investments, savings, clothing needs, and house or automobile maintenance, credit cards, and loan payments. Some of these items could be in the main bills or discretionary spending. It just depends on where you put it. And then if you have anything left over, it could apply to dining out, entertainment, cable TV, subscriptions to Hulu, Disney, Amazon, Walmart, online, sportsbook, and casinos, vacations, birthdays, and Christmas or holiday spending. Personally, I've never paid for cable TV. I either watch TV with the basic antenna put in a window for free, or my most watched content comes from YouTube. Now, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Get yourself another piece of paper, fold it in half, making 2 columns. In the first column, at the top, write the 1st through the 15th. And the second column at the top, write 16th through the 31st. Then write down your bills, amounts actually due, and their due dates in the same column associated with the due dates listed at the top. Try to keep the dates in order. Then to the left or right, in parentheses, write the total amount due. Try to get the exact total, and you only have to include the mortgage if you're close to paying it off. This information will be more useful in video 2 of this series. I get paid bi-weekly, so everything due in the first column I pay with the second check of the month, and everything in the second column I pay with the first check of the month. Now there's 26 pay periods indicating 2 extra paychecks. So I recommend making the switch to this budget style during the first extra paycheck. And when the second one comes around, you can reevaluate how the future payments will be and switch them around if you need to put the extra money, if you need to, or put the extra money in a savings account. Usually that's after food and discretionary needs also. Your mortgage company or rent manager will be very happy to get their monthly payment not only on time but early every month. If your free check is already passed by or you get paid differently, then do your best to transition if you decide to try it my way. So the simple answer is to pay everything backwards. What do you do if your bill payment amounts are heavily weighted to one column over the other? Well, you have a couple of options. You could move bills from the heavier side to the lighter side of the column and then call the creditors and ask for new due dates. Try to get them to give you a date that's a few days away from your payday. That will give you a little bit of time to get your bills paid. The second option is that you can move the bills closest to the middle of the month from one column over to the other, as long as it falls on or after your payday. My budget is not written in stone, so I can reevaluate every so often and move things around when I need to. But the key is to always pay them early. Just make sure that the bill has been posted and shows the next due date, or you'll be just making an extra payment and then they'll want that payment again, especially with the mortgage lender. After the new bill amount is posted, it's okay to pay it early. I haven't paid a bill late in over 10 years, and that's a good credit builder. Now, what if you have too many bills and not enough paycheck? The walls are closing in, but don't worry, we'll tackle that too. I've been in that situation a long time ago, and it wasn't pretty. At some point, you did this to yourself, but also that something has to give. Dave Ramsey, a personal finance expert and author, created the concept of the 4 walls, which is prioritizing housing, food, utilities, and transportation first over everything else. These are your essential expenses, which must be paid over and above debts you owe when you're in a financial crisis. In my opinion, a financial crisis is the time to get rid of all non-essential expenses, at least temporarily. For example, cable TV, streaming apps like Hulu or Netflix subscriptions, dining out, trips to McDonald's or other fast food, coffee at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, impulse purchases at the store, and even cutting back at the grocery store. And finally, the internet. But that's the one I fight the hardest to keep. Also, try to only drive your vehicle with necessary trips out to conserve gas, and if you plan your trips out in the same day and plan where you're going to go in order to stop at each place until you get back home. Sometimes that saves gas, money, and time. Next, contact all your creditors to try to negotiate lower payments or new debt payment plans if possible. You may even be able to ask them to lower the payments for a limited time, or sometimes they'll let you push the payment back to the back end of the loan. Credit card companies will often let you skip a payment or two without late fees if you just explain you're in a bind and are trying to get caught up. And paid subscriptions to Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, Disney, and so on can be paused for a time or just canceled. Be realistic and don't overpromise what you think you can pay. Try to make the smallest payments possible until you can get caught up. Make sure you have your budget in front of you so you can see where you may have some wiggle room from one creditor over another. And be fair to your creditors because they had faith in you by extending credit to you in the first place. You want them to keep doing so in the future. So you have to be nice and be willing to work with them. Take your credit cards out of your wallet and put them in a drawer until you can use them again. You can also create a steel trap budget, as Google calls it. This is the budget that no extra expenses can get through. You must track every dollar to see where the money is going and where it's being wasted. And then each month, write out the budget before the month begins and stick to it. About 40 years ago or so, I did just that. I tracked every penny at my dad's suggestion, and I found out that I was eating too much fast food, and when I cut it out, it stuck for good. To this day, I do not eat any fast food, and I only go to McDonald's to get Helen her iced coffee. Psalm 55:22 NIRV. Turn your worries over to the Lord. He will keep you going. He will never let godly people be shaken. And Philippians 4:6 NCV. Do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And God's peace, which is so great we cannot understand it, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, who do you think spends more money? People in their 50s or people living it up in retirement? The answer is that people in their 50s, on average, will spend more money than they will when they retire. And let me tell you why. People in their 50s often have already reached their highest income levels, which leads to the desire to enjoy life while you can, taking more or better vacations, increasing spending on lifestyle upgrades or even much needed and highly wanted home improvements, and paying for fun activities or even eating out more often. It's the 50-year itch. You want to live the life you've always wanted before retirement starts, which feels like it's right around the corner. Many adults in this age group want to get their experiences in before they grow old in case their health declines when they retire. Also, more people in their 50s are still caring for and financially supporting their children or even their parents, which adds to an increase in household expenses than they did many years ago. So the urge to enjoy life may be stronger for this group than any other. Now for a disclaimer. I'm not a financial planner. I can't give professional or legal advice. I'm not a certified public accountant. I'm not a doctor, nurse, psychiatrist, psychologist, or a scientist, in case I talk about any health or other topics. I'm just a regular guy, and I just want to share my thoughts or things I've learned so I can help someone else, maybe help you. To recap, you pay your bills backwards, so you'll always be early or on time. Try to balance the bill amounts that are due to be as even as possible so your personal spending budget can be the same from week to week as much as possible. Try to get your creditors to lower the payments for a certain amount of time until you can get caught up. Consider the steel trap budget as long as you can really stick with it. It may reveal things about your spending that you're not really aware of. And concentrate on really building up your retirement savings in your 50s instead of spending the money willy-nilly on stuff you don't need. If the walls are closing in, pray to God and ask the Holy Spirit for wisdom to guide you through difficult times, and put your worries in God's hands. Let Him worry for you. That's what I do. Again, welcome to Pre-Retirement Planning Without Savings. I'm Brian James, and I'll see you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, and please, once you subscribe, leave some feedback. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. But above all, please subscribe. Bye now.